Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike. Rainbow.
Oh my God, sorry.
You're supposed to say your name here.
I'm Rainbow.
Okay, something's up with Rainbow, and I'm thinking it might have something to do with our topic for today. We're talking about sleep habits or sleep health, healthy sleeping. A lot of people are paying attention to this, noticing how sleep and good health are very, very closely joined or linked together. And I'm getting the feeling you didn't get enough sleep last night.
Okay, so I went to bed at around 11, which is like early-ish,
That's pretty early.
Okay, so then I get up at like 1:30 and did not fall asleep until like 5.
Wow. Okay.
So that explains why I'm a little like, I don't know what time it is right now.
Yeah, that's really strange
gosh.
because one of the things they recommend for good sleep habits is going to bed at a good time, like 11 or 12.
That's a good time.
But waking up 2 or 3 hours later,
exactly.
That's not good.
And then not being able to fall asleep until the morning.
Do you have any reason why this happened last night? Why you woke up so soon?
You know, I have to say something interesting. It is related for me to the phase of the moon. I tend to find that before some phases, the energy just wakes me up, and I've done this measurement and I've sort of seen a pattern that I wake up at certain times around certain hours with certain energies, and I think that's quite interesting.
Interesting. So as the moon moves across the sky every month, it affects your sleep.
8 phases,
Wow, you're like the tides of the ocean.
Yeah, I'm like a wolf.
You're like a werewolf.
Werewolf.
Okay, now I have something to be nervous about. I won't be taking a nap around you anytime. But let's talk about Rex and Angie. Maybe they have some good advice about excellent sleep habits
I hope
that can
so.
help you or
help me.
your werewolf persona. All right, let's check out the article. Rex and Angie, sleep habits.
So tired.
Oh, I'll get you some coffee. Rex and Angie are talking about their sleep habits.
What time do you get up every day?
On weekdays, I usually get up at 6. On weekends, it's 7.
I never get up that early. To be honest, I'm normally asleep until noon.
All right, so part A, sleep
habits.
All right, habits are kind of the things you normally do, the behavior, action, things you normally do. And sleep habits, exercise habits, eating habits, these can often help you live a healthy life, or if you don't have good habits and you have bad habits, that can lead to trouble in your life. So let's hope they have good sleep habits. And Rex and Angie are the two characters, and they are talking about their sleep habits, or, you know, the kind of thing when they go to sleep, when they wake up, how much sleep they get every night, that kind of thing. This is sleep. There we go. Your eyes are closed. You're not dead. Your eyes are closed. You're resting.
You could look like you're dead.
You could look like you're dead. It is kind of,
you're really tired.
You're definitely not awake. Sometimes if you're really asleep, that's another word we might use. If you're sleeping,
dead asleep.
You know, loud noises won't even make you open your eyes.
Or earthquakes.
Earthquakes, things like that. So sleep is very important. Doctors say we should get around 7 hours of sleep, depending on who you are. And if you don't get sleep, and good sleep most nights, you could have health problems and all sorts of bad things could happen. So sleep is what we do at night, usually when our eyes are closed for 7 or 8 hours, and you wake up feeling great in the morning, hopefully. All right, so let's get to the dialogue. As Rex begins the conversation about sleep habits, he asks Angie a question. What time do you get up every day? He could say, what time do you wake up every day? But wake up means you stop sleeping. but you could still lie in bed for an hour reading books or playing with your phone. Get up means your feet are on the ground, you're getting dressed, you're out of the bed, you are off to begin your day. But we can use them in the same way sometimes.
Okay, I bet Angie works really early because she says, on weekdays, I usually get up at 6.
Ooh, that is early.
On weekends, it's 7. Okay,
Ooh,
maybe
that's
she's just
still
used
early.
to it, so she
Yeah.
can't really get up any later than that. Here we have the word weekday, and a weekday is any day within the week, which is Monday to Friday. So weekday, a day in the week, not the weekend. Weekend is the end of the week, so that's your Saturday and Sunday. Weekday, weekend, both one word.
That's right. Usually we go to school and work on weekdays, and weekends we have fun and sleep in. Normally we sleep in longer than just 1 extra hour.
Yeah.
Waking up at 7 or getting up at 7 on a Saturday or Sunday. Most people don't do that. But anyways, that seems Angie, that's her habit. Rex, though, he's like me and you and many other people. He goes, I never get up that early. He probably means 7 on a weekend or maybe even 6 on a weekday, because that is still pretty early for many people. He says, I never get up that early. He says, to be honest, to tell you the truth, to give you full information, I'm normally asleep until noon.
That's really late.
Okay, and that might be also why he says, to be honest, because that's
It's like,
it's a little embarrassing.
I don't wanna say
People might go,
it,
really,
but
noon? Oh my God, why do you sleep so late?
late.
So it's a little bit, something he might be a little shy about, but he wants to be honest. He wants to tell the truth, and often he is asleep until noon, or he could say, I am sleeping until noon. Asleep is basically an adjective that we would use to talk about being sleeping, being asleep. If your eyes are closed and you're going, you are asleep. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your phone call. I was asleep. I was sleeping, we could also say. All right, don't go to sleep. Don't be asleep after the break. We still have more to talk about, so wake up, come on back, because we're going to find out all about Angie and what she thinks of sleeping until noon. I don't think she can.
No, she gets up at 7 even on the weekends.
Way too late.
I did that once, and I didn't feel well the rest of the day.
I was that way at the beginning, but then I got used to it.
When do you usually go to bed?
Because of my job, I often get home at midnight, so I generally go to bed by 4.
Wow, that's late.
Okay, so we're talking about sleeping until noon, which is 12 p.m. Angie says, I did that once and I didn't feel well the rest of the day. Probably she was so dizzy because she was sleeping too long, and she's normally used to getting up way earlier, so that's not normal for her sleep schedule.
It's one of those weird things you notice when you sleep in. You'll wake up after, I slept for 10 hours. And then you're tired all day long.
Yeah, and you're much more tired.
I don't understand how that happens. But it can happen, especially for people who don't sleep in or sleep to a later time.
That's right.
Regularly, people like Angie. Well, Rex, he does this all the time. So as he says, I was that way at the beginning. He could also say, I was like that at the beginning. I felt similar to that. Yeah, at the beginning, but he says, then I got used to it. So
his body adjusted.
Sleep habits, changing your diet, changing your exercise.
It takes time to adjust.
Yeah, your body needs some time to get used to it, to sort of have it become normal, because at the beginning it can definitely make you feel weird.
That's right. And when we use the word beginning, this is in contrast to the end. So beginning is at the start of something. When you first start to change your habits, something is going to be a bit weird. You're going to be more tired, less tired, not going to be used to it at first. So that's the beginning, means first or at the start of the cycle, but then later or by the end, you get used to it eventually. So any beginning is the start. So the beginning of the day would be, I'm up at 6 a.m. and the end of the day would be maybe you're sleeping at 9 or 10 p.m. and that's the beginning and the end. Angie says, when do you usually go to bed? Because, he sleeps until noon. So she's guessing that he probably goes to bed later, which ends up being true.
Yeah, it's true. Their sleep habits are very different, these two, right? But there's actually a reason.
Their jobs, too.
That's it. There's a reason, as you say, that Rex goes to bed so late. Some people just like to go to bed so late. Other people, well, they have no choice. And Rex is kind of like that. He says, because of my job, I often get home at midnight.
Oh, that's late.
Notice he's kind of flipping that sentence around. He said, I often get home at midnight because of my job. But here he's saying, it's my job. It's my job. That is why I sleep so late. He explains, I often get home at midnight. That's 12 o'clock when it goes from one day to the next day, right? PM to AM. Very, very late. Most people are asleep or in bed at midnight.
Yeah.
He only finishes work at midnight, so I generally go to bed by 4. That would be 4 a.m., about an hour before the sun comes up. But it's true. I mean, if you finish work, you can't just go home and go to bed,
You
right?
want to have some of your own time.
True, you're
you have
hungry,
to take a shower.
You might have things to do.
Watch
take
a
shower.
movie.
You gotta relax before you go to bed. So he ends up going to bed very early in the morning, or you could also say very late.
Very late.
4 a.m.
Angie says, wow, that's late. Or
For
you could
most
say,
people.
wow, that's too early.
Yeah, for most people, if we're awake at 4 a.m., we're really tired, and we should have gone to bed earlier, closer to midnight, probably. And midnight is sort of the opposite in time of noon.
Yep.
Noon is 12 o'clock a.m. to p.m. Noon is lunchtime. Midnight is 12 o'clock p.m., switching over to a.m. Middle of the night, that's when the day changes from Tuesday to Wednesday as well. And as I said, the moon's up, the witches are out, the black cats are howling, the bats are flying around. It's midnight, it's spooky, it's scary, it's dark. Most people are at home at midnight, except Rex. He's just finishing work, poor guy. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll have more great articles for you. Tomorrow, we're going to finish this one off with a different topic, but until then, get a good night's sleep.
Sleep early.
That's right. Don't stay up too late. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh my God, so tired.
I know. It's terrible. Rex and Angie are talking about their sleep habits.
What time do you get up every day?
On weekdays, I usually get up at 6. On weekends, it's 7.
I never get up that early. To be honest, I'm normally asleep until noon.
I did that once, and I didn't feel well the rest of the day.
I was that way at the beginning, but then I got used to it.
When do you usually go to bed?
Because of my job, I often get home at midnight, so I generally go to bed by 4.
Wow, that's late.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 sleep 名词，睡眠。You need to get more sleep. 你需要多一点睡眠。下一个单字 weekday 名词，平日、工作日。I usually go to bed early on weekdays. 平日我通常早睡。下一个单字 asleep 形容词，睡着的。Nina is asleep on the sofa. Nina 在沙发上睡着了。最后一个单字 beginning 名词，开始、开端。Hurry up, I don't want to miss the beginning of the film. 快点，我不想错过电影的开头。相反的，结局、结尾就是 ending。一部电影的结尾就是 the ending of the film。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 to be honest 老实说。Honest 是形容词，诚实的、老实的。我们来看看这个例句。To be honest, I don't like our teacher. 老实说，我不喜欢我们的老师。下一个文法 feel well 身体状态的，感觉好的。Well 是形容词，表示身体状况健康的、安好的。我们来看看这个例句。
Wow, I can't wait to go on Bigfoot's revenge.
I can't wait to... I don't feel well. I'm going home.
What? Wait, what? Come back.
最后一个文法 ，somebody gets used to something， 某人渐渐习惯某件事情。Get used to 表示习惯、适应 ，to 的后面必须接名词或者是动名词。我们来看看接名词的用法。Eric is getting used to his new job in Taipei. Eric 渐渐习惯他在台北的新工作。接着我们来看看接动名词的用法。I'll never get used to getting up early. 永远不会习惯早起。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
Hello everyone, I'm Zach. And today we're going to be playing a game called Word Drop. Now, we each have 3 words here on cards that we have not seen before, and it's our job to have a casual conversation and work these words into conversation as natural as possible. All right, you ready, Jamie?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
You know, I am not thriving this morning. I'm not having a good day. I've had 3 cups of coffee because I am so tired because last night I could barely even get a wink in. You know what I mean? I was laying up and I think I fell asleep around like 4 o'clock in the morning. And it reminds me that on these early days that we wake up, it's important that we all get enough sleep.
I agree. Sleep is one of the most important things in my life because I'm not a big coffee drinker or caffeine drinker, so I really only rely on sleep to give me energy and food, I guess. But so yeah, I think sometimes when you wake up and you're not well rested, it's really a bad start to the day because you don't have energy, you don't really want to go to school or work or whatever you have to go to. So I feel like it's very unpleasant, right? To start your day off like that. I don't really like it. I think, excuse me, I think that it's better to start your day on a positive note. So I like to start the day with a positive beginning.
Yeah, that is true because I do find like however you start the day can really affect like the rest of the day. Sometimes it's hard when you just like wake up on the wrong side of the bed and like everyone is just making you mad for whatever. And you could be with your best friend having lunch and you're just there and you're like, look at this person just eating chicken. Like how dare they eat that chicken sandwich like that? And you know, also it makes it hard for when you're at work later because it can be very easy to just fall asleep at your desk.
I really think like falling asleep at work or school, like it's sometimes I remember the teacher would get angry because they think that we're bored in class, but I don't think that's usually the case. I think usually we're just tired. And that's what I want to tell the teacher. Like, to be honest, I'm just tired.
I hear that. I definitely hear that. And I also just have discovered that as I've gotten older, not so old, thank you, but as I've gotten older, I supplement so much sleep with like coffee and like stop trying to stay awake, and I just found out that it's just something that I had to get used to. Is being tired.
Yeah, you do have to get used to being tired.
God, that was so hard. Okay, what were your words?
Wait, I have one more word.
Oh, no, you have one. Oh.
It's okay. So you have to get used to being tired. And the next thing I think is on Saturday and Sunday you can relax, right? Because usually you don't have work or school then. For most people. Some people do. But you know, Monday through Friday is really hard because you just have to really do your work and go to school on the weekday. So my word is weekday.
Weekday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, how to work? What was your word?
Oh my God, you're so natural. That's why I jumped in. Get used to.